Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. All depends on where you are watching from. I want to say hello again to my Facebook community podcast family. Thank you all for joining in. It makes me glad when I see you join in. So thank you all for joining in. It's glad to be back. Last week we were on an instant replay and we had a good show. So I went ahead and replayed that because I want to spend time with family. Family is important. Wanted to make sure everybody had that family time. Didn't want to have you coming on and trying to watch, but some people did watch, and we had some more chats in the box, and so it went good. And so I'm thankful for that. But this Sunday today, we are going to dive into a topic that has been making headlines and affecting wallets across the nation. This tariffs thing. That's why I'm calling it "What in the Tariffs is going on? What is going on?" Trust me, we all are asking the same question. We are definitely trying to figure out what is going on. And then I'll be joined by my guest, Sybil Wilkes, who will explain more about it. But, it's a lot. It's a lot of information. So sit back. If you have a minute, get you something to drink and get ready for this good information. But welcome. Welcome to my global audience. I never, never, never want to forget my global audience that are listening over in Nairobi, Kenya, and listening over in the Dominican Republic. My family over there, I love y'all. Thank y'all for joining in. And to all my children and everybody back on the East Coast, thank y'all for joining in. And I just want to say thank you all for following. So, the community podcast page, make sure that you go to the community podcast page and like it, and follow the page. Do me a favor. That really, really helps me a lot. So also it's on Instagram if you are an Instagram user, if you're a TikTok user, and then subscribe to YouTube as well. That's where I'm also on. But if you want to write, you can write me at embrace it community podcast at gmail.com. It's a long one. So it's embrace it community podcast at gmail.com. That's how you can drop an email. I hold highly confidentiality if somebody doesn't want to get on here and talk about anything and they need some type of extra therapy or counseling on any situation. So write me. I have some connections resources that I can forward you over to as well. So I want to make sure that you do take a minute and get this information down if you need it. Also, I am, as you all know, a big advocate on 988 suicide prevention crisis lifeline. And I mention it on every show that I do because I take it to heart that this is something that I made a promise to myself. And I said, I'm going to be an advocate for it. Lost a lot of friends and family members to it. So I want to make sure that I talk about it every time I get a chance. I'm going to talk about this thing. I'm going to pound it in you till somebody gets it, because sometimes people don't get it right away or feel that there's a need, but then you'll get that one that will say, I need help. And so the 988 suicide and crisis lifeline, it's available 24/7, 365 days out of the year. It's also in English and in Spanish because I have family and friends and coworkers, colleagues that are Spanish speaking only. So it's there, it's available for you. So your conversation, it's free and it's confidential. So I was watching a show this week on one of the series that I was watching. I think it was called Drug Theft. And one of the DEA agents, which I was really surprised when I'm watching it, how engrossed this was. She was so overwhelmed with it. She showed it on her phone. She dialed 988 as she was sitting in the parking lot wanting to commit suicide. So I'm glad that it's being out there and advertised a whole lot. So yeah, it was something to see. And I was like, wow, yes, this needs to be talked about. Take a minute to and talk about it. It needs to go out there so that people will know that there is help. We care. I care. And I always tell you at the end of my show that I love you because I love me first, in dealing with some stuff, dealing with issues and dealing with mental challenges. We all do. So I wanted to make sure I got that out there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for, once again, like I said, just joining. Also, I put on my page, both on the my Embrace the Community podcast page and my personal page, the 300-mile cycle that I'm participating in, and it's for the American Cancer Society. So visit the Embrace It Community podcast page on Facebook and go on there and do me a favor and just donate to the cause. There's a GoFundMe link on there as well. It doesn't come directly to me. That's the way the American Cancer Society has set it up, where they're linked in it through the American Cancer Society GoFundMe. You'll see my name pop up so that you let you know that you're donating on my crew that's donating. So make sure you do just donate to it. I lost my brother to cancer, so I'm another big advocate on anything to do with the American Cancer Society. I stand behind every time I get a chance. So go onto my page once again and look for the Donate to the Cycle 300-mile American Cancer Society and click on that link where it says GoFundMe. Just click on that and go ahead and make a donation. Any donation, any monetary donation will help. $5, $10, $20, whatever it is, whatever you want to donate, just go ahead and help me out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you can help me out, help a brother out, like we would say. So do me a favor. So, and do that. So listen, tariffs that I mentioned, we're looking at what's going on in our government, the tariff situation. A lot of people are not 100% clear on tariffs, and I'm still learning. And this is why I have a guest to bring on to help us in the community really fully understand what in the tariffs is going on, where and how is this going to affect us all. So before we dive into the current situation, let's all be on the same page. I want us all to be on the same page and talk about what tariffs actually are. Okay, so that's why this is why I'm doing this. I don't have any gossip or anything like that. I want to talk about what's affecting the community and the community's pocket and their wallet and their home. And I'll talk about more what I experienced at the store. And I'm sitting back saying, I must be getting old because I've never had to pay as high prices I'm paying for just the little small things that I find myself needing, not wanting, just needing, in the house. And I'm like, why did this cost me $100 just for 7 items? So we are about to go into this. So get ready. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment. Feel free to drop a comment in there. I'm going to be watching it, the comments and everything like that. But I'm opening this up so that you can ask questions. The only way you're going to know something if you ask something. If you don't ask something, you don't know. You won't know anything. So please do. Please do. Okay. So I want to welcome on to the Embrace It Community Podcast for the first time my special guest, Sybil Wilkes, to the community podcast page. Please welcome her.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sybil, if I could just say I've watched and I can say I've listened to you. You've been an important person for radio for over 2 decades and as known as the voice of reason on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. All right. And that information that you give us, entertainment that you give us with honesty, accessibility, integrity, earning the trust of a nationwide audience. I welcome you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna give you another. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. It's been a long time since I've heard applause like that, but I appreciate it. It's nice to be here with
Yes,
you, Gracie.
absolutely, absolutely. So here we are. Okay, here we are. I'm turning this over to you. Tell us what's going on. What is going on?
So this is something that President Trump tried to do during his first term, and it didn't go over very well. Now he's emboldened by this second administration and to bring about what he calls an equality in the trading situation between the United
Mm,
States and foreign countries. So bottom line, tariff is a tax. And in
okay,
the case of what we're looking at here, it's a tax on imported goods, things that we need and that we in our day-to-day living, as well as ex- I guess for special purposes, or maybe to treat ourselves, some higher price items. But it really does affect our everyday living. Anything you buy from Amazon, not everything, but many things you buy from Amazon, many things you buy from Sheen or Temu.
okay,
And you think, oh, that's a pretty good price. That's not a bad way to go. Now, those are going to go up as a result of what the president is trying to work out with countries like China,
Okay.
Japan, and
Okay.
things like that. So as I said, it's a tax on the imported goods, and economic researchers have pointed out that during his first term, tariffs were just taxes on Americans by another name, and anything and everything that's made by another country is that you need or want to buy will be taxed at some point, and taxed at a rate that they agree upon with the Trump administration. There's a lot going on with the
Yes.
country of Canada, because
Oh
they're
yeah.
our neighbor, and we get. I mean, some states get their electricity from Canada.
I
So
didn't know. I did
yeah,
not know. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Wow.
they get other forms of fuel and things like that. So that's going to go up. People, I want to say it's like Michigan, on up into the East Coast.
Yes.
There are
Yes.
states that are receiving, that do business with Canada, and that's how they get their electricity, and apparently at a pretty good rate. But now that rate is going to go up at the president's insistence that we have the tariffs, are going to cost more, because he says that there is an imbalance in our trade situation.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Time Magazine just did a spread about the president in his first 100 days, which we're coming up to this week. And it said that seeking to remake the global economy, he triggered a trade war by unleashing a sweeping array of tariffs that sent monetary markets around the world plummeting. Any of us who have
Wow.
401k plans and things
Yes.
like that, uh, they advised us not to look at them because they took such a precipitous dive. And so as a result of that, people are a little sketchy. And then the president said, okay, we're gonna take tariffs off the table for right now. And but he also said it's a good time to buy, which he told to his friends, meaning to buy stocks,
Oh wow.
because the stock market went down and the prices of per stock went down as well. And so he's, wink, wink to his friends who are in a position, those of us who are working day to day
Yes.
and
Yeah.
week to week, to keep our lights on and to put food on our tables. We can't necessarily afford to, but
No.
we may have a 401k program, which enables us to have a wide variety of stocks and other things for our retirement years. But he's telling his friends who have these businesses, or telling friends who play the market, as they say, it's
Yes.
a good time to buy. Wink, wink. And so, that's just quizzical. That this is a man who told us that he was going to be bringing down the price of food
Right.
on day
Right.
one. We weren't
Right.
going to have to worry about the cost of eggs anymore. And eggs really didn't have anything to do with tariffs. Eggs had to do with the bird flu, and
Right.
and
Right.
so
Right. Right.
but
Right.
he was going to solve this problem in a matter of days, or on day one, as he liked to say. And instead, in this first 100 days, he sent things just kind of just lost all control over the markets and over the way that we're doing things. And so what does this mean for us? And
Yes.
people can look at the prices, and as you said, a lot of the prices went up as you're going to the grocery store, and a lot of the prices we know went up during the pandemic. That was a way for the companies to stay in business, and they felt that they had to charge higher prices for toilet paper, for milk, and for
Right.
all these other things that they were affecting us, and that played such an important part of our lives, that they were producing to make money. And so now we're coming to now, and some of them have not reduced the prices, although they said, once we get past the pandemic, things will return to normal. Well, that's not the way that because it got good to them. They're
Yep.
like, oh, and the people aren't stopping buying our products, and so we might as well just keep it up at a higher level than it was before the pandemic.
Right.
A lot of things like seafood. We know that we have a pretty good seafood market in some states of this country, Louisiana, Alabama, off their coast of Florida, and what have you,
Yes.
and also
Yes.
along the northeast coast for lobster and things like that. But there are other things like coffee and fruit. Now, this really hurts me because I'm a coffee drinker and I eat
Right.
bananas. We don't grow bananas in this country.
Exactly.
And so the
Exactly.
price of bananas are going to go up, along with cheese coming from foreign countries. Nuts are coming from foreign countries, candy bars. other imported foods, that, as I said, you go, well, it's not American cheese. So, but let me treat myself to something. But you're going to pay the price for that.
Yes.
And also, it's not necessarily the product that's coming from another country, but the ingredients for a product that's coming from another country. So
Right.
that increases the price there as
Oh
well.
my
Right?
gosh.
Yeah,
So
it's really kind of overwhelming, and you kind of throw it out there to people and hope that they, but we are feeling it already. In terms of,
yes.
well, let's. Uh, the cynic in me is saying that there may be some businesses out there saying, well, let's kind of, get them ready for these real increases that are coming up. And so let's, just kind of nickel and dime them and see, how they respond to the cost of these things. And so people say, well, I feel it already. Of course, we feel it in the price of
Yeah.
gas, where it goes up and
Yes.
down every
Up
day.
and down.
Yeah, and we feel it in the price of eggs, and these are things that many of us can't do without. And so, and for me, in my case, as I said, coffee and bananas and strawberries and we have blueberries that come from this country, but
Grapes. Sybil,
grapes,
I went into the store
grapes,
yesterday, I don't mean to cut you,
yeah, from
and they said,
Venezuela.
"Here, they're on sale, 2.39." I don't ever remember a bag of grapes is $2.39.
Right.
This is a sale?
Right, right.
Oh,
And that's a joke for people for companies or grocery stores to tell them, well, we're trying to keep our prices low, so we're putting this on sale. When if you look at the prices on Tuesday and you look at the sale papers that come out on Wednesday, there's
yes.
no difference. The
No.
only difference is they put sale next to it. It doesn't. It's not helping us, and it's making us look at them with a squinty eye, side eye. And it's like, what the heck are you doing? Who are you trying to fool with this?
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
so those are the things. Those are our day-to-day items. But look at other things that are made in this country or not, but the parts come from other parts of the
Other countries,
world,
right.
right? So your washing machines, your
Yes.
dryers, obviously our phones. If you have an iPhone,
Oh my yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're talking about $1,000 right now for an iPhone, for the top level iPhone, is for a lot of people is very comfortable. That for a lot of us, that just boggles the
Right.
imagination. But in time, that number is going to continue to escalate as a result of what is going on with the tariffs in China,
I
because
looked
that's where
already.
the phones. Okay, so what did
I
you find?
iPhone 16 is $1,800.
See, right
Yeah.
now,
Right now. That's right now. Yeah, and I
right
was
now.
like, "I'm good with my 13,"
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I'm good with my 11, so
Yeah.
I understand, because the way that we are, and those of us that depend upon advertising, and a lot of companies are not spending money anymore, and so our cost of living it may be going up, but our manner of making a living is declining, and so that we're really between a hard rock and a hard place. As a result of what the president is trying to do, which is really kind of ego driven in a lot of
Yeah.
respects, because he has people coming and paying homage to him. And I don't mean that, well, I don't mean it in a respectful way, but it just doesn't seem to be fair to the American people that he promised that he
Right.
was going to be the
Right.
one to lower the prices on all of these things and was going to make America great again. And now we are a suffering country that is very close to a recession,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, and it's not just, and so we talked about food, we talked about items around your home,
Right.
but what about your cars?
Right.
Well, I buy American. I'm not going to have to work. Yeah, you are,
Yes,
because a
you
lot
are.
of those parts are coming from foreign countries. Either, and a lot of the cars are still being manufactured or assembled in Mexico, in
Yes.
Canada, the two
Yes.
countries that border the United States. And so, and these people are trying to work out some deals with the United States so that the numbers just don't skyrocket, but to keep it within a manageable number for people who are buying cars. So the used car market now is going to go up, or if it hasn't already, because, like, okay, well, I won't buy a foreign car, but I will buy a car that's already been driven
Right.
for a year, 2, 3, 5, 10 years. I'm driving a 2014 now, but
Right.
it's like
Right. Right.
you
Right.
have to do these things. And so,
Yeah.
but a lot of these as a result of the skyrocketing prices, people who sell used cars will think that, well, I can get a little bit more too, as a result of this, because people are willing to pay more.
For the love of money and what people are willing to pay, what do we do? And I'm gonna let you go because what do we do in the as a community? What's the best advice you can give us? What can you give us?
Well, I think the voice of the people really is starting to get through
Okay.
to especially to our United States Congress members, as well as the U.S. Senate members. All of these town halls that they're having around the
Yes.
country, and people are going and letting the especially the Republican representatives know that we don't like it, but they're also letting the Democrats know, you got to step up. You got to make some noise for
Right.
us. We
Right.
put you in there to represent us, and you're not doing it. Neither one of them are, and they're kind of letting him slide by. And so the voice of the people, we may say, that doesn't do any good.
Mm,
They're not listening to me. But yeah, they have to. And
yeah.
he's kind of talking, throwing it out there about a third term, and people like, if this is what a third term is going to look like, is this what a second term looks like? Just imagine what a
Right.
third term is going to look like. And so
Mm,
the voice of the people, when there are organized demonstrations,
yes.
participate. When
Yes.
people
I
ask you
agree.
to write letters or to call your Congress people,
I agree.
call them or call
Yep.
your senator and say, look, I didn't vote for you, but you represent me. And
Right.
this may not be what you use in terms of your patter or your speech, but you represent the state. You represent my district. Stop
Yes.
stop him. Make this madness stop, because it's not doing any of us any good, and it's only stroking his ego in a lot
That's
of
it.
respects.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, thank you for that information because a lot of people, like I said, don't even know really what this is until now you're even helping me understand what
Right.
does this really
And like
mean.
you said, we don't think in terms of grapes coming from, a South American country.
Right,
We don't
right.
think about all of these. We know we grow broccoli. We know we grow a lot of things in California
Sure,
and
sure.
Florida. But there's so many things that in our day to day lives that we don't even think about. And because they're cheap, or they have been cheap, we don't think anything about that. But the days of buying cheap products from Timu or Sheen or any of those that you may get through eBay or get through Amazon, those days are sadly over. Where you're gonna, just say, I can get a couple of those,
Oh my
and
gosh, yeah. Also,
especially, that we're getting close to the holidays.
right,
Before you know it.
right. Tomatoes. I purchased a tomato.
Another one, yeah. If we don't get them out of Grandma's garden, then we're up a creek.
I'm about to get some seeds and put it in my
Right,
backyard
right,
here.
right.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what my neighbor's doing too. I mean, they're doing that as well. But 239 for one
Oh,
tomato.
that's crazy. That's
Kroger's. Kroger's. Yeah.
Come on. And
Yeah.
that's
It's
another
bad.
thing, to share the information. When you find a good deal, share it
Yes.
with people. Don't be covetous with the information. Share it, because, like I tell my friends, when I got off a plane yesterday and I was like, I need gas. And do I wait? When I looked at the gas, I was like, tomorrow it's going to be higher. So when you see a good deal, share it with your friends and your family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sybil, thank you so much. Please tell everybody how they can reach you. I was wanting to see if there's some questions coming in, but there isn't. But let us know how we can reach you so when they listen to this later, they know how to reach you.
Well, I would love to have people subscribe to our newsletter. It's called What We Need to Know. It's absolutely free. Andrea, we changed the name of it this year. So it used to be What You Need to Know. We changed it to What We Need to Know. And
Right.
it is absolutely free. Go to sibylwilkes.com, just like you
Okay.
see there on the screen, and give us
Okay.
your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday. Also, I do a weekend show on Sirius XM on channel 141 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'd
Okay.
love to have people, come and listen to us talk about the issues of the day and have some fun, some lighter conversation oftentimes.
Yeah, I'm going to follow you, definitely follow you. And I'm learning so much, like I said, and I'm going to encourage people to do that and to ask questions. And, if I can't answer them, I'm definitely going to direct them your way. What about The newsletter. Okay, I just saw that's the
So the
newsletter.
newsletter is free, and
Okay,
social media, it's Sybil
okay,
Wilkes on all social media platforms.
okay. Yeah,
I'm
so we
I'm
got you.
still I'm still on what we used to call Twitter, but I'm trying to move away from that to Blue Sky.
Okay, I don't know nothing about. I don't mess with Twitter. Still like
Right.
Instagram and TikTok. Thank you to my children that helps me
Right, right.
navigate and all of this stuff. But like I said, this has been very informative. Thank you so much for taking this time out of your busy, busy schedule and just coming on over to the Embrace Your Community podcast. I appreciate you, and I definitely appreciate you taking out the time to come see a little old me. I'm 6'4", but I'm still little in this field. But thank you so much, and it means a
You
lot.
may be a young pup in the field, but your future is great. So
Thank you
have
so
fun.
much. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, would y'all thank Sybil, please, for coming in? Give us some
Thank you.
love. And I'll have you back if folks want to hear you and we got some questions for you. I'm not gonna answer. I'm like, I need to get her back. So definitely so. But thank
Well,
you.
Andrell
Yes.
knows how to find me. She tracks me down because she was the heart and soul of the Tom Jordan Morning Show. So
Yes.
definitely, I appreciate
Yeah.
her, and I appreciate meeting you. Thank you so much for the
Absolutely.
invitation.
Thank you again. All right. Take care. Yeah, this is good information. Thank you all for chiming in. If you missed a little bit, please make sure you go back and watch the show again because it will be repeated and everything like that. But this tariffs that's going on, this tax, and I'm just learning that that's what this is. So we are dealing with something that you need to take a minute and say, how is this going to affect my wallet? How can I help it not affecting my wallet? How can I help this? Help me to make it through to my next pay period because a lot of us are from paycheck to paycheck on just trying to make it with the bare necessities. So this is what we need to pay attention to. Watch what's going on CNN, Fox, whatever one you want to watch, but make sure you get this information. Tune in, watch, and listen. So we have to be aware of what's going on in our community so that we can never say we didn't know, no one told us. Marcus, thank you. I see you, brother, for joining in tonight. And my son is on too. Jay Jones, thank you so much, man, for tuning in. I appreciate you. Yocasta, appreciate you, my love. Thank you so much for joining in. And yeah, this is good information here, like I said. So listen, there are some questions that I got down here that came across here also that I want to just talk about. So, how long will these tariffs last? Is one of the questions here that I'm noticing that came through here. Are they permanent? And that is a good question. Is this permanent? We don't know. Tariffs can be temporary. They can be long lasting depending on the policies and the goals of the international negotiation. I listened to Canada and China say, listen, we're not playing this tit for tat, with this man. And that's how they just pretty much said it. We're not going to do that. So here's where we are. Here's where we're going to stand firm. And listen, we because they realize who it's affecting. It's us. It's not him. It's sad that the other countries realize who it's really affecting, and they have empathy for the American people still, in spite of the president that's in the office now. So the current administration has indicated that these tariffs are part of the ongoing trade strategy, some type of strategy that they got going on to just to negotiate trading partners. However, many of the tariffs that have been implemented in 2018 and 2019, to my research, have remained in place for years. This stuff has been in place for years, suggesting that we should be prepared for new measures to last for some time. So there you have it. This is not going anywhere. Sybil just said it's not going anywhere. It's not going to get any lower. And these prices that we have seen in the stores, if you are being affected by that, drop me a message in the chat. Tell me what's going on in your area where you live, how you're feeling and how you're dealing with this as well, because we need to know. If you have some questions, come on in and drop some questions in here, and let's try to see if we can get some answers. Because if I don't know today, I'm going to definitely get back to you and get you an answer on this. So it's tough. So is there anything the consumers can do to avoid the high prices caused by the tariffs? Unfortunately, individual consumers have limited options to avoid tariffs. Related prices are just going to keep increasing. Shopping domestically produce alternatives is one approach, yes. But like Sybil said, right now we're looking at Temu, we're looking at TikTok Shop. Some of y'all going on there, some of y'all going on Amazon, which I love. I'm a Amazon Prime member for a long time, and I'm trying now, like I used to do before I knew that there was going to be a COVID effect to the country. I was watching the things that were going on sale in the stores, buy two for one on the alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and things like that. I would just grab it and just store it up, and the wipes. I would see all that stuff. Stock up on that stuff. I've been reading articles about what 10 good items should you purchase that are non-perishable to have in your cupboard. What should you have in your closet, whatever you want to call it. You better go in there and get you some dry beans, get you some rice, get you some, products that are not going to expire anytime soon. Look at the canned goods that you're purchasing and see what the expiration date in it, and make sure that you stock up on these things. Water. Let's look at water. Making sure that you have enough water supply. You should have 5 gallons of water for each individual in your home to last you at least a month. So only 5 gallons for each individual. That's a lot of water. I have 10, 15, 20, 25 gallons right now, that I stock up, and it's just myself. So I want to make sure that I have it just in case I have to use it to bathe. What if I have to use it to cook? So I want to make sure that I have this in my home. So you should as well. So some consumers are now accelerating in purchasing items like appliances. They're getting those things. Get yourself a grill. I've talked to another family member about this, and we joked and kid about, but get yourself a little portable grill. Get you a bag of charcoal. Get you a bag of lighter fluid, just in case. What happens with this electric that's coming from the different country, the different sources? They might play a game with us and shut it down. They'll shut it down for 24 hours. What are you going to do? So you need to have those tools ready. I call it survival tools. You need to have those things ready and able and accessible to you every time you see it. Grab the sales. Those are the more important ones. So but this was good tonight. I thank you all that came in. I don't see any questions. If I missed any questions, I know my producer's on here. She's going to throw them in there. Marcus, like I said, thank you so much for joining in. Yocasta, all the way from the Dominican Republic, thank you so much for joining in. Novia, I appreciate you. Jay Jones, my son, thank you, sir, for watching. He's more encouraging to me. And then to you as well, that has been joining in, uh, that's been joining in and just watching on a regular basis. Thank you all for joining in. This means so much to me to really have you on. I know this is not gossip, and I know this is not church mess and all the other stuff that's going on in the community, but I'm trying to reach the people of the community that needs to know, what can we do outside of Sunday morning. If I was a preacher, I would say amen. But we need to know what we need to do outside of that Sunday shout or that Sunday morning service, whatever you got going on in your church. I don't knock it. Trust me, I love serving God and getting my worship on as well. But a lot of people will leave church and can't make it till Friday because they don't have the means to do so, because they're not preparing or buying food or anything like that. So this is my assignment, and this is why I'm on here doing what I'm doing for the community. Amen. So you make sure that you follow my page, please. Community podcast page, Facebook. Make sure you go in there and like the page. Instagram, make sure you go in there and follow me. TikTok, please, as well. And then please subscribe. Please subscribe to YouTube. I don't ask for anything monetary on this site. Why? Because I know there's a mission that I need to do. Yes, it's tough. It's hard. I'm trying to make it the best way I can. But if you ever want to support, we'll get that information up to you probably on the next show. We'll have the information on how you could support it if you want to. I'm not asking you to. I'm not asking you to do it. I'm not telling the ushers to close the doors. I'm not doing that. I'm not saying any of that. I'm asking you to just come on and like and follow my page, okay? And let's see how we can reach the masses, men of every word, for an answer. Okay, so like I said before, subscribe, follow the page, join the community on social media, continue the conversation, and support one another on our journey of this transformation, because it's not going to get any better, my people. It's not going to get any better. Okay. So for this episode tonight, this is what I had for you. That's all I have for this Embrace the Community podcast tonight. Thank all of you that joined in. And I want to thank my wonderful, wonderful special guest, Sybil Wilkes, and all of you that listen in. I put up the email address for you as well, again, to take down and shoot us an email. Let us know how we're doing. Do a quick survey. Just say, hey, Bracy, you're doing a good job. Can we talk about, or could you not? I'm open to that. You're not going to hurt my feelings or in any way. So shoot me an email. Shoot me a message in chat. Hey, whatever you want to do, and let me know how I can help you. Let me know how I can get better. Let me know what you want to hear. Let me know what you want to talk about, because this is about the community. This is all about you in the community. So thank you all once again for joining us. Next week, we will be live. We will be live again next week. I'm going to hold back the topic on what is going to be back next week, because it's going to be another good episode that's going to really resonate in your spirit person. Please do me a favor. Like I said, once you finish following the page, once you get all of that done, thank you for doing all of that. I want to see you again here. And remember, I'll say it till the day I close my eyes. And I mean it. I love you because I love myself. All right. But so thank you again for joining. And I hope to see you next week. All right. Stay safe this week. Keep praying. All right. Keep your meditation up. Keep talking to God, because that's the only answer we have today. Don't go by what you see. I love the song that Marvin Winans used to sing. Ain't no need to worry what the night's going to bring. It'll be all over in the morning, but you got to believe. Okay. Thank you again. Thank you all for joining. And I hope to see you again next week. All right. Y'all take care.
Thank you for listening to Embrace It, the community podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Follow the community podcast page on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Please like and share the podcast with your community circle.